our first storyteller. Y'all make some noise for Mary Hoefler, y'all.
I hate being first. Hello, my name is Mary, and I am a recovering people pleaser and automatic yes person. I used to be the, I'm happy to make 200 brownies for tomorrow's bake sale without allergens, individually wrapped and labeled. I can do that. Or the, I'm delighted to pick you up at the airport at 1 a.m. even though you can expense all of your travel and I go to bed at 9:30, but not a problem. And finally, the so happy to buy you dinner again because you're in between jobs, even though your generous severance package is 6 times my annual salary. Because working in human service has been such a cash cow for me, you cheap fuck. I know some of you also suffer from the disease of people-pleasing and automatic yesing for all sorts of reasons. Fear of disappointing others, fear of conflict, fear of being terminally alone or abandoned, anxious attachment. Whatever the reason, it all sucks, doesn't it? My people-pleasing and automatic yesing was because I could not tolerate the idea of someone being mad at me, not liking me, thinking I wasn't nice, or being selfish. I also come from a very impressive lineage of people-pleasing women. The women in my family had but one role, to serve and to take care of everyone and everything, everywhere, all the time. Like, how is that even a thing? It's not. It's a total fucking setup and breeding ground for guilt. But I used to think about what could be different for me. These women embodied the overrated virtue of selflessness. Think about what that word even means. A lesser self, a lack of self, a vessel for others. 25 years ago, I had a therapist who I loved, and she said something to me that I still repeat to all of my own therapy clients. She said, Mary, every time you say yes, when you really want to say no, it is an act of self-betrayal. Now, I understood what she was saying, but I spent decades struggling to set and maintain boundaries. And when I did, I felt like I needed to provide a bulleted list of reasons for my response. I know that we struggle with that. We struggle with saying no. This was never more evident, my poor boundaries, than in romantic relationships. My second very serious boyfriend, I will not say his name even though he's not present, but I loved him and I thought I would marry him, but he always missed the mark when it came to sex. Despite lots of efforting and conversations and instructions with step-by-step guides, he couldn't do it. But I loved him, right? And by the way, the whole love conquers all, not really a real thing. You need so much more than just love. Respect, the ability to forgive, that's a different story. So one day, when he suggested we spice things up, he wanted to try anal sex. I know, right? And I was like, fuck no, is what came into my head immediately. But I didn't say that. I did not say that. I said, I will think about it. But really, what was I going to consider here? That type of frolicking was not in my current repertoire of sex. And I thought, maybe it should be. Maybe I needed to be more adventurous, more open-minded, more curious, less uptight. Or maybe I could have just said no thank you. So I decided to vet my girlfriends because they would for sure tell me the truth. And to my surprise, 2 of my best friends were all about the ass business. And they just went on and fucking on about how great it was, how it was like pleasure unimagined. And they were like, Mary, you totally have to do that. And so being one to not disappoint others, I gave the green light. To say that he was out of his mind with enthusiasm would be a gross understatement. He showed up at my apartment the very next day armed with every kind of lube you could get at the Walgreens. And I'm thinking, oh, I know what you look like. That's a lot of lube, and I got afraid. Porn on VHS, which also tells you how long ago this was. And you know that porn was probably from the 70s or 80s. It was frightening. And cheap champagne, like he couldn't even spring for a higher quality alcohol to help me loosen up. So we got everything set up, we got things going. But as soon as I felt the breeze in the back, I jumped up, squealed, locked myself in the bathroom. Suffice it to say, there were no do-overs. I was done and so relieved, but felt so guilty. And every time he asked again, he was met with a firm no, nope, 9. But because of all of my many mistakes, missteps, and decades of uber-yesing, I am certainly in a better position to help guide my own children, especially my daughter, who women and girls suffer from people-pleasing at a much greater prevalence. And I can help them understand that disappointing others is always better than disappointing yourself if it means you're honoring your own truth. So maybe it's time for all of us to fuck yesing and embrace the no. Thank you.
I need y'all to make some more noise for Mary.